just make this like a jump rope. Turn it, salt, pepper, however that thing went. How about our host and hostess? Can we give them a great round of applause? And I understand they lured you all here because everyone here is going to get a canned ham. And they have a beautiful, how about this, huh? And if I'm president, everybody's going to have a backyard just like this. And listen, I was here years ago, and he told a little story about the sled dog, as I did go sled dog, whatever, racing. I thought I was going to drown. But a more interesting story than that was, I don't remember exactly where I was, but I was in this house, and I was talking to this lady, and we were standing at the sink, and it was going great. And I'm thinking, I've got myself a town captain here. There is just no question about this. And then after about 20 minutes, she looked at her watch and she said, "When do you think the candidate's going to get here?" That's when I knew it was time to go back to Ohio. So a little bit different this time. I want to thank you all for coming. Maybe just a short bio, and I'd really like to be able to take your questions. So I do come from Pittsburgh. My father carried mail, and his father was a coal miner. My mother was a very smart lady, but very undereducated. She was highly opinionated, and her mother lived with us off and on, and she could barely speak English. And the town where I grew up, I don't really remember, except for one guy that lived catty-corner to us, I never remember seeing a white shirt. Everybody that lived in this town had a blue collar, and virtually everybody that lived in my hometown was a Democrat. I mean, we just didn't have Republicans living there. And it was a conservative, kind of God-fearing, common sense town. But if the wind blew the wrong way, people found themselves out of work. And I was talking to a gentleman here whose father was he was the postmaster in downtown Pittsburgh. He apparently had a lot of say in the whole area. And the reason I bring that up is that I was never aware of us getting sort of special things. You know, we never got a ticket to go see the World Series. We never got a ticket to go see the playoff games. I can't hardly remember of whether we ever even got a ticket to go see the Steelers play, because we just didn't have those kind of connections. And I haven't talked much about this, but I learned as a kid kind of to fight for the underdog. I kind of learned as a kid to stick up for people who a lot of times nobody ever sticks up for. And that's kind of burned into my soul. That doesn't mean that people who are really successful like Rich need to be torn down. And I can remember my father saying to me one time, "Johnny, we don't hate the rich, we want to be the rich." And so my values were sort of shaped in that little town.